This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Mikaela Mayer here in Las Vegas. Mikaela, how is life treating you? How are you?
Life is good. I feel really good. I'm in camp right now. My fight date hasn't been announced. I know the date, but it hasn't been announced yet, so should be very soon. But I'm feeling really good. I'm going up in weight again. 135 was still a big cut for me, and I'm just like finally gonna let my body do its thing. And I feel like I have the experience now to do that and the skill, and it's just there's no point in me cutting all that weight for no reason. The bigger fights for me now, like my future fights, they're all at heavier weight. So this next fight is going to be at 140. Then I'm going to 147. But I feel better than I felt in a long time. Like I didn't realize how tired I was. To me, I was just a fighter and I was fighting through it and I was in camp and it was supposed to be hard and I was supposed to be tired. But I have more energy than I've had in a long time, and it feels really good.
I actually want to touch on that because I remember seeing quite a few people tweet you saying that you look quite healthy, kind of a heavier weight, shall we say, in comparison to when you were trying to get down. Uh, did that play any kind of part in your mind, that fact that other people were picking up on it?
No, because it was already in the plans. I mean, after that first fight at 135, and I became mandatory for Katie Taylor, I would stay obviously at 135 because that's the fight that I want. That's the fight that everyone wants, right? So, but when I realized that she now has two rematch clauses, one with Chantelle, one with Serrano, it just didn't make sense to sit there and cut weight for no reason when the next big fight to me after Katie, if that fight were to happen, they're all at bigger weights. And so I'm just going to I don't want my prime to pass before I let my body feel its best, So I knew it was going to happen, and really, people are always talking shit to me online, so that really didn't have an effect on what I was going to do. But it's just natural. It's just what my body's telling me to do.
So with that in mind, moving up to 140, obviously we know Chantelle Cameron is most likely going to rematch Katie Taylor next. We're just waiting for an official announcement on that front. As she's the title holder, what type of opponent are you looking at? Because I don't imagine you'll be jumping straight in there. You want one fight just to kind of feel out of the way, get comfortable, but also I know you aren't going to want to face somebody who you'll just breeze past.
Yeah, so I'm waiting on Top Rank to sort of land that opponent right now. We're looking at someone in the top 5 at 140, but also looking at someone. The fight is going to be in London, I will say that. So we're looking at, or the UK. So we're looking at someone on that side of the pond just to help with the promotion and all that. But uh, I don't have a problem continuing to go out there because, going to 147, like, look at who are the girls there. You got Tasha Jonas, you have Sandy Ryan, McCaskill, and, McCaskill's American, but a lot of girls that are European that are out there that are going to be big fights for me that I want to test myself against. So, yeah, I don't have the opponent for this fight yet, but I know they're working on it, just training and staying ready.
How much can I push you on it, Mikaela? So you've mentioned your next fight will be in the UK. Chantelle Cameron, obviously, I know she's got the fight with Katie Taylor, but she's 140. Sandy Ryan up at 147. She's getting ready for a Jessica McCaskill fight. They're both obviously with Matchroom. Can you tell us as to which promoter you may be linking up with for this fight, or which network you'll be working with?
So when Top Rank does fights in the UK, we're partnered with Boxer. So when I fight in the UK, it'll be on a Boxer card unless I'm challenging a Matchroom champion, in which it would obviously be on their card.
But you have fought on BT before as well, obviously on the Joyce Zhang card.
Yeah, that was just they couldn't. That was just like a lineup thing. So they put me on the card there because of the availability on cards with Boxer. I don't know. They're just making it work. It's not my job to know what they're doing, but ultimately their plan is to continue to build me over there because, like I said, a lot of big fights over there for me. And number one on my list would be Chantelle Cameron. I have a lot of respect for her. I think we both have fighting styles, and it would make for a really great, exciting fight. She's mentioned that she's looking to move up to 147. So now you got Chantelle Cameron, you got Sandy Ryan, you got all these girls at 147, and I just think it's going to be a really exciting division.
I mean, obviously, as we mentioned there, Cameron getting ready for what we expect to be the Katie Taylor rematch, but she comes through that and say if an opportunity presented itself to you to face Chantelle Cameron. Looking at her stylistically, how do you feel you'd match up?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Like I said, she comes forward, right? She puts the pressure on and she fights. And y'all have seen that I like to fight, but I can also box. And so I think it would definitely be a very active, exciting fast-paced fight for sure. So I'm looking forward to hopefully, getting that done sometime in the next year or so. And I know she's looking forward to that too. She's mentioned that she's interested in fighting me as well. So we'll see. And if she does stay at 140, then we can make the fight happen there. If she goes to 147, like I said, I'm open to it. But yeah, I'm in the 40s now.
Sandy Ryan and Jessica McCaskill, just your thoughts on that?
I've never been a fan of McCaskill. So I think Sandy Ryan's going to do her thing. She can box. She got power. She got the experience, huge amateur pedigree, and now she's really coming into her own as a pro. So my money's on Sandy Ryan for that.
Would you jump straight to 147 if an opportunity presented itself to face, say, Sandy, if she was to beat Jessica McCaskill, even if it meant you've only had one fight at 140?
Yeah, so I'm already planning on jumping to 47. Like
You literally just have one fight at 140 and then move straight.
That's the plan. You never know how things change, but that's the plan. One fight at 140, then go straight to 147. And yeah, like I'm at the time of my career where I want the big fights. A lot of us girls are at this level now. Now you're seeing the next generation come up, and so the girls that are in this generation, like we want the big fights. We're all game for that. So I'm no different. Like if an opportunity comes for a world title at 147 like that, I'm there. I'm ready for it.
So obviously with that in mind, that would also mean that most likely that rules out a Katie Taylor fight for yourself if she sticks to 135, that is, and the Baumgardner rematch is most probably just not going to happen now with that in mind.
The longer Baumgardner takes to ask for a rematch or say, hey, yeah, let's give the fans the rematch they all want, then the more I think that may not happen, honestly. I don't know. But with Katie Taylor, I honestly think that she'll rematch Chantelle, she'll rematch Serrano, and then she'll retire. And if I were to sit around and wait for that fight with her, and then all of a sudden she does to say, I'm hanging up the gloves, I'm done, then I just sat around at 135 for no reason. So I can't, like I said, I can't wait. I keep saying that. I can't wait on anybody. I'm going to go where the opportunity is and keep fighting, and we'll just see.
How high up would you go to potentially face your good friend Claressa Shields, or is that just not going to happen?
Well, she's at 154. I mean, I know she's spoken about coming down to 147. And if that's what she wants to do, there's a whole bunch of girls waiting for her. So you never know. You never know in boxing. Obviously, she's my friend, but money talks. So we'll see.
Just obviously moving away from yourself, you've got your good friend Seniesa Estrada just weighed up there, getting ready for her fight tomorrow night. Just kind of what you're expecting to see from her, and her trying to position herself firmly to try and secure that undisputed fight with Valle, if it can happen.
Yeah, I know she really wanted to unify in this fight, and she's kind of bummed out that she had to face a non-champion and not have a chance to unify, but they found her the best possible opponent they could. She just wants to stay busy. That's the most important, right? And hopefully she'll get that fight to unify the division. But I think we're just going to see another awesome performance from Seniesa. If you watched her last two fights, like, she's right when she says she has a different style than a lot of these girls. It's very unique. She's strong for that. She packs a punch for that tiny body of hers, and I'm just expecting another really impressive performance. Maybe a stoppage, yeah. I mean, she got the power to do it.
Spence-Crawford 2 takes place on Saturday night. It's divided opinion throughout the week. Seems to be people just slightly favouring Terence. I know obviously you've been in around him, you've been in camp alongside him in the past. What goes down there on Saturday night?
I do favor Terence. Obviously, it's a super competitive fight. That's why everyone wants to see this fight happen, is because these are two greats and both really skilled, really experienced. I just think that if you're Crawford and you're studying for Errol Spence, there's a style to study for. Like, what you're going up against. You can study his fights. You can see what he does best. And it's really hard to do that when you're in someone like Errol's position, studying for someone like Crawford, who's just so multidimensional. You just don't really know exactly what he's going to do. You don't even know what position he's going to come out in, orthodox or southpaw. So just really tricky. And I think that they'll both have their moments in the first half of the fight, but I think Terence is going to take over in that second half.
Would the winner of that fight for you become the number one fighter in the world on the pound-for-pound ranking, certainly on the men's side of things?
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought Terence was up there. So I think he hasn't gotten the respect maybe and gotten that number one spot yet, but definitely deserves it. And, we'll see. You got Inoue doing some wild stuff too, that last fight. So, but regardless, he's definitely up there. It doesn't really matter. 1, 2, 3, like, you're up there.
Do you take much notice of those pound for pound rankings, whether it's men's side, whether it's women's side? Does it mean much to you as a fighter?
No, yeah, it's fun. Everyone likes the pound for pound rankings. Like you'd lie if you're lying if you say you don't completely like care a little bit about the rankings because they're fun to follow and it's a challenge. Like we all want to be at the top of that pound for pound list. So yeah, but I mean ultimately, I think the most important thing is one, taking on the biggest challenges you possibly can for the sport, for the fans, for your own legacy. Like that to me is the coolest thing. And then, winning. Continue to win and showcase and just build the sport and put on great fights.
Just a final one from me, Mikaela. Somebody you know well, Shakur Stevenson, we're waiting to see what's going to be happening next with him. He's obviously pushed for that Devin Haney fight. They've had their back and forths over social media. Looks like we'll see Haney Prograis next, but what's been your take on that entire scenario?
I expected Haney to go fight Prograis. I think that Shakur is the toughest fight for anyone in those divisions, not just 135, but 140. I mean, I feel like Shakur can beat all those guys. Like, and I'm not just saying that because he's my friend and I'm teammate and I know him, but he really is like an exceptional talent, and I just don't see anyone beating him. So I think that Haney and him will definitely match up, but maybe Haney's taking the fight with Prograis, holding on to those belts a little bit, getting the fights, getting the money before he really lines himself up with someone like Shakur, because that could be, the end of his reign, honestly.
I'll leave you now to obviously go and catch up with your team and run off. Yes, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for speaking to me, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks.